Welcome to Poly Talk, the radio show to go to get the most up-to-date and unbiased information on politics. Featuring candid interviews with candidates and elected officials, we keep you informed this election season. On our last week of Poly Talk, we will discuss education and climate change with our guests Mike Pence and DNC's representative Sukhmanpreet Kaur. Thank you for tuning in to our last and final episode of Poly Talk. I am your co-host Rebecca.
And I'm your other co-host, Leah. This week, we will be getting to know our guests, DNC Representative Sukhmanpreet Kaur and Mike Pence. First, please welcome Sukhmanpreet to our show.
Please introduce yourself. What is your name and what interest group are you representing? What is the goal of your organization?
My name is Sukhmanpreet Kaur, and I am a representative from the DNC, Democratic National Committee.
What candidates does your organization support and why?
We support all the Democratic nominees, some of which are Joe Biden, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and Max Rose. We disagree with the Trump administration's policies, and Democrats will work to restore America's soul. When elected, Biden will achieve our goals through his concrete plans in contrast to the Republican candidate and current president, Donald Trump. Biden's plans are detailed and well thought out. For example, in his healthcare plan, he hopes to expand the Affordable Care Act while leaving private insurance in place. This will allow vulnerable populations and minorities to have access to more affordable healthcare while still allowing others to choose private insurance.
What is your organization's view on the federal government's approach to the current education system?
Trump's administration underinvested in our nation's public schools and in our higher education system. We do not approve of this. Rather, we believe that education is a critical public good, not a commodity, and that it is the government's responsibility to ensure that every child, everywhere, is able to receive a world-class education that enables them to lead meaningful lives, no matter their race, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, national origin, religion, disability status, language status, immigration or citizenship status, household income, or zip code.
Thank you, Sukhmanpreet, for coming to our show.
Next up, we have Mike Pence joining on our show. Please introduce yourself. What is your name, party, and position you are running for?
Thank you for introducing me, Leah. And I just want to say that, hello, I'm Mike Pence. I'm the current Republican Vice President of America, and I'm running for re-election alongside President Donald Trump.
If re-elected, how will you improve the education system? What is your stance on the closing of schools all over the country due to the pandemic?
Well, I just want to say that I want to repair the effect that COVID-19 had on our children and our education system. President Trump and I will make sure that schools open nationwide as soon as possible. It's definitely crucial to receive the best education possible, and I believe it's not entirely achievable at home. And we've spoke to the CDC on several occasions, and we've done so in order to ease restrictions on the opening of schools. And we're also going to offer incentives that will encourage kids to go back to school.
Thank you for your efforts. In recent interviews and events, your running mate, President Trump, has called climate change a hoax. What is your stance on climate change?
I definitely feel there are certain aspects of our environment that we simply cannot control. And again, there's no questioning that humans have had an effect on the environment, but I won't infringe on American infrastructure and stability in order to propagate tales of fake news.
And we'll come back right after a commercial break.
Hello, it is President Trump, and we are buying this 1-minute ad space to ensure that the Democrats cannot use it to tell you lies. Please listen to this relaxing music while you wait.
Oh my God, I will vote. Arriba! I will vote for Donald Trump. Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump. The people gonna to vote, no fear no more. Vote for Trump. Let's go. Vote for Trump. If you wanna keep America great, vote for Trump. Let's do it. I vote for Trump. Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump.
The National Alliance to End Homelessness has dedicated its mission to solving the affordable housing crisis which exists in the United States. Please support the Alliance today and follow us at THHS_NAE homelessness.
Take a stand, vote him out. I don't know if I reproductive rights, a pro-choice America, a government restriction, advocating for women. Sponsored by Planned Parenthood, NARAL, and the DNC. Vote blue.
On November 3rd, vote for those who support the Affordable Care Act and who will battle COVID head-on.
We are the DNC, and we align with the AMA in our support for Joe Biden and Max Rose.
And we're back, continuing with our regularly scheduled programming. Now we'll begin the usual Simbuk segment. Since this week is the last week of the election simulation, we'll be asking our guests the usual Simbuk questions. Whoever gets the right answer first will get a point. Each candidate will have their own buzzer sounds. Supermanpreet, what will your buzzer be? Mike, what will your buzzer be? Alright, let's see who can get the most correct answers the quickest. Let the questions begin. Question 1. What is the average student loan debt in 2020?
$125,000.
Not quite. Mike Pence, what is your response to the question?
$200,000.
Not quite. Students own on average $37,000 in debt, so therefore Supermanpreet was closest to the correct answer and will be getting the point for this question. Question 2. What is the difference between global warming and climate change?
Global warming, I think, is when Earth's temperature rises, and climate change, I feel like it's like more of like weather-related effects that we have on our Earth, like more higher frequency snowstorms and like melting glaciers, heavier intense storms, I think.
Supermanpreet is correct. Global warming refers to the long-term warming of the planet, while climate change encompasses global warming but refers to a broader range of changes happening.
Hey, yo.
Question 3. What is the goal of the 2015 Paris Agreement and what year does it go into effect?
Paris Climate Agreement was a global effort to mitigate the effects of climate change and keep the temperature rise below 2 degrees Celsius, and I believe it went into effect in 2016.
Mike Pence, you're correct. The 2015 Paris Agreement is an agreement within the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, dealing with greenhouse gases, emission mitigation, adaptation, and finance starting in 2016. And that wraps it up on the final segment of Simbucks, with the results being Supermanpreet 2 points and Mike Pence 1 point. Supermanpreet is the winner of this week's Simbucks segment.
Now we will have our debate segment between our two guests. I will ask a question, DNC will have 15 seconds to answer, then Mr. Pence will have 50 seconds to answer the same question. After both guests have spoken, there will be a 30-second debate where both guests can speak and defend their positions. For DNC, what is your organization's stance on President Trump taking the U.S. out of the 2015 Paris Agreement on climate change mitigation?
We believe that the Trump administration has taken a dangerous step that will have destructive consequences on our climate and environment. He does not listen to science. We want the United States to rejoin the Paris Climate Agreement, putting the United States back in the position of global leadership where we belong.
Vice President, can you defend the decision made to leave the agreement?
Well, we withdrew from the agreement because it did not benefit Americans overseas and on our shores. It was improperly negotiated by the Obama administration, and our administration plans to save the environment while also protecting our interests.
Thank you both for your responses. Now you both have 30 seconds to speak and defend your positions.
Does the Trump administration plan on saving United States from climate change while California is on fire and the South is experiencing intense storms?
These events you described, the forest fires in California as well as the storms in the South, these are environmental things that we as humans do not have control over. And even these have been happening for hundreds of years. Even like the Native Americans have experienced these types of things and have had plans to mitigate the effects of this.
So Mr. Pence said that humans have no control over natural disasters, basically. But if they do not have any control over natural disaster, as the Trump administration, does it not have any responsibility to provide funding for the disasters that the American people are facing?
I just want to say that the Trump administration does an excellent job of providing funding to these places that are affected by these natural disasters and things like that.
If Biden is elected from the Democratic Party, we will rejoin the Paris Agreement and make sure that United States is a global leader in preventing climate change.
the Democrats, they did not know what they were doing while creating these accords. They were easily manipulated into doing the other country's bidding, and they drove away jobs and industry from America. And the DNC, as well as the Democratic Party, they have such a lack of skill and political experience to lead the country, and they can't even make competent agreements on important issues like this.
Time is up. Thank you both for your responses. Mr. Pence, is there anything else you would like to tell us about? You may use this time to plug any of your social media or events planned.
Be sure to vote Trump and Pence this election to make America great again. Now, I just want to also say that it is crucial that we do our best to vote in person and not mail-in ballot. Also, be sure to follow Mike Pence, THHS, for more information about our party and administration.
DNC, is there anything else you would like to tell us about? You may use this time to plug any of your social media or events planned.
We want every American to vote regardless of political party. Not only should we be voting on the presidential ticket, but also our senators and congressmen. It is crucial that all Americans partake in this essential right. Voting blue will ensure that your rights are protected and that you can have a fair and safe future. You can follow us on Instagram at THHS_DNC for more information and updates. Thank you.
Thank you both for coming to our last episode of Poly Talk.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. It was a pleasure to be here.
That's it for this week's episode of Polytalk featuring the DNC and Mike Pence. This will be the last episode of Polytalk, and we would like to thank you for tuning in to our episodes every week. We loved making these episodes for you and informing you on the politics of this election season. Please remember to vote, and for the last time, stay talking politics with Polytalk. Don't forget to vote on November 3rd from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.